Chapter 5 Making Magic. Did you know that a real magician doesn't work to impress people? They work in their own world, where they create their own reality, and it can be amazing. I spent 5 years working with real magicians, but this is not my book about that. For me, magic is all about studying, practice, and repetition. I learned how to control the elements. Classic elements. I'm referring to the concepts of earth, water, air, fire, and ether. Each of these elements have beings that serve them. Mermaids for water spirits, sylphs for air spirits, gnomes for earth spirits, and salamanders for fire spirits. As you start to work with these beings, you create your own universe, and that universe will supply you with all the evidence that this really exists. It just depends on how deep down the rabbit hole you want to go. The only element you need today is ether, or what we call infinite intelligence. If you ever decide to practice with the other elements, you'll be in for a fascinating fairy tale ride. A goal is a wish you focus on. A wish is something you are simply thinking about. By setting a timer on it, it becomes a goal. Goals are something you follow up on, something you want to be, do, or have. From our higher selves to here, it took a lot of effort, energy, and focus to get to Earth. We should enjoy our lives, or we should be consciously creating the world we would enjoy. Preferably both together. This is the leading edge of our universe, and you are the creator. From my point of view, meditation for more than 40 minutes a day is a waste of your life. Unless you're a monk and you believe you hold our common reality by meditating, or you're working on something all day which requires tuning in regularly. Creating by focusing 15, manifest by focusing 60. If you learn inner discipline and meditation, you can stop thinking and just focus on one thing. You can create your own reality. By focusing on anything that you would love to be, do, or have with the emotion of happiness, you make it so. You manifest your goal. Sometimes you might feel guilty about a goal. You see someone's gorgeous wife and she is exactly what you're looking for. You want her for yourself. This is how I'd work with that. I'd ask my higher self, please help me. I would love to have someone like her. You have to trust me on this one. The universe will always bring you someone even better. This is based on my personal experience. It works even when finding a home or looking for property. Please help me to own a property like this. That's your starting point. Process of testing your wish. It takes 15 seconds of focusing on a wish to turn on the creative process. Once it starts to manifest, if you discover you don't actually like how it feels to have that goal manifest in your life, you can still let it go just by ignoring it. Let's say you see someone drive an expensive sports car. You wish you had one just like it. You close your eyes and for 15 seconds, you imagine sitting in the car and driving it. You focus on the single thought of enjoying the drive with nothing else on your mind. You engage all of your body to play the game with you, and it feels great. After all this, you let it go. Over the next few days, more information is going to appear in your life. The cost, the insurance, the maintenance, parking it in a safe place, where you can actually drive it, etc. Your brain will analyze all the factors, and so you might start to have doubts if it's worth all of those headaches for the relatively few moments you'll get to drive it. You decide to visit a dealer or rent one and try it out. Perhaps a friend will buy it. You'll end up sitting in the car. Two things may happen. You'll not like it, i.e., the cockpit is too small, it may even feel claustrophobic, and you'll let go of imagining having it as you move on to other things you wish for. The other possibility is you'll just love it. You'll fall in love with the look, the smell, the sound, the way it feels to drive. Then you decide to have it, and that's when you move to the next step. Evolving from a wish to a goal. If it feels good and you decide this goal is what you really desire, you're going to want to focus on it for 60 seconds. You're going to want to use a timer on your mobile phone, as 60 seconds is actually a long time to hold a single thought while evoking happy feelings. If it's a car you want, you can imagine driving it and looking out of the window. If it's a home, you can see yourself walking in it and looking at the details while feeling joy. If it's a partner you want, you can imagine holding hands, kissing, cuddling up, or making love. It must be 60 seconds. If you can't focus on this single thought for a full 60 seconds, just try again later, and eventually you'll get there. Focused meditation is the hardest part, but comparing this activity to other things in life, it's fun, or you can make it fun. When working on your 60-second meditations, you can even create a goal that it is easier to achieve your goals. You have all the knowledge now. Just make a wish and turn it into a goal. Please help me make manifesting my goals pleasant and fun for me. Now you'll start to manifest these goals in your life. If you can feel it, you can have it. The first law of the universe, the law of attraction, will draw it to you. It's just a question of time and when exactly you decide to allow it to exist in your life. Allowing the goal in. Since you've done your 60 seconds, anytime you think about it from now on, you enjoy the feeling of having it already. How long do I hold the feeling of accomplishment and gratefulness? I learned to recognize the stream of energy flowing and the sensation of it receding. I hold the happy feelings as long as they flow, or as long as I enjoy playing with them. When you focus on something with the intention of creating it in your life, and you go over 1 minute, it isn't going to manifest any faster. The key is doing it more often rather than focusing for longer. To begin, I sit up and calm my mind. Then I feel like there's an opening in the crown of my head that connects me to my higher self, to heaven, and I feel the energy flow. Then I pull up a memory from my childhood, like seeing presents under the Christmas tree. I hold that happy emotion and I slip in my wish. I keep this going for about 60 seconds to allow it to become a goal. You can pick any joyous emotion from your past, or you can just generate happy feelings. That's how you create new things in your reality. You focus on your wish mixed with happy feelings while pretending it already exists. The essence of manifesting. Calm your mind. Stop thinking. Feel happy, truly, genuinely happy. Imagine what you want to be, do, or have. Hold it for 60 seconds, setting a timer. After 60 seconds, feel grateful. Say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Send that gratitude bundle of energy and goal up to heaven. Let go. Anytime your mind brings it up again, enjoy pretending you have it already for as long as that sensation flows. Vision boards. I am a very visual person, so I love to use vision boards. I keep pictures of things I want around my apartment, in my office, and on my screensavers. The trick is to generate the emotion of having those things now every time you look at them. Feeling happy speeds up the process of manifesting your reality. You should not have things around you that don't make you happy or inspire you. When I started using vision boards, I had pictures and drawings of things I wanted on the wall at the foot of my bed. I'd go over them before I fell asleep, when I'd wake up during the night, and in the morning. It just made me happy. I also made a graph of a large circle with smaller circles around it showing multiple sources of income. Eventually, I started to fill in the small circles with names of businesses I started. I knew I had to look for businesses where I was not trading my time for money. I didn't look for competitive businesses, meaning I wasn't creating the same business as my neighbor just for the sake of competing in a price war. Instead, I looked around the globe for useful products and services I could bring to my location. Revisiting and rewriting your goals. I'm a morning person. I get up around 3 a.m. I used to think I was destroying my day by getting up so early. I'd burn out in the afternoon. I didn't have the energy to go out later. These days, I no longer get upset with myself. I realize I have all this time for me, time to create while everyone is still asleep, and I learn to take short naps before I go party at night, so I've freed myself up to use this early morning time wisely. Once I'm ready, I use my mornings to revisit my goals. Anytime you're revisiting your goal, it speeds up the process of manifesting. By rewriting my goals by hand, I find it makes the manifesting process happen 100 times faster. This is especially true for long-term, larger goals. When I engage my kinesthetic senses, the rewriting of my goals allows me to focus my thoughts. These are the types of messages I'll write over and over. I'm so happy and grateful now. I have the most luxurious and comfortable home located in the best neighborhood. It makes me and everyone in my family very, very happy. It's safe. We have great, nice, inspiring neighbors, and I'm in harmony with them. Nearby are fun places to discover and the best restaurants where I enjoy my favorite food and lots of entertainment. There are great spiritual places for me to explore and learn from in the neighborhood, and I'm involved in the latest technological developments that are being worked on nearby. You might find that when you describe exactly what you want, people will try to tell you it isn't possible or it doesn't exist. Don't believe them. If you can imagine it, it exists. Look for guidance in unlikely places. Usually, right after my morning meditation, I find my impulses are perfectly tuned. Listen to your instincts. Keep those feelings of gratitude and be happy in the knowledge your goal already exists. When you go through your life giving off that vibration, the universe will align itself to help you get there. Once I believe my goal exists, I always find it. I'll get different guidance from people, things I read, and even by paying attention to my dreams. One morning I woke up and drew the shape of the property I'd dreamt about the night before. I remembered the feeling of being happy there with my family as I drew it. I used that drawing to manifest my goal. I held on to that sensation. When I looked at a map, I divided the map into sections and accessed how I felt as I started to look over each section. It took a few months. The district was clear from the beginning, just the exact location moved around. I had to drive around and discover the area. It was fun. We'll get to the exact process of understanding those intuitive intelligence sensations in the next chapter. Helping others. You don't help anyone or make them feel better by feeling sorry for them. If you go down with them into despair, there'll be no one to pull you up. So, be selfish. Don't let others drag you down into their problems. When you find yourself confronted with this type of situation, you must first stop for a few minutes and clear your mind. You can't solve problems at the same energy level where they were created. You must change your vibration and link up to your higher self to search for solutions. The best thing you can do is to ask your higher self for help. That's the way I do it if I feel the need to help someone. I focus on connecting to my higher self, and I ask, please help. If it feels right, I pause and ask again, please help me. Show me if there is anything I can do to help. And regardless of the situation they're in, I always begin by looking at the person and giving them a smile. Experiencing divine energy. If you just transfer money to any charity without attaching the emotion of happiness to the gift giving, it will do nothing for you. If you give large amounts to charity for the simple reason that you believe the more you give, the more you receive, you better really believe it. Otherwise, it's a dangerous game. Trust me, I tried. I learned when you give, you must give with joy in your heart. If you give money to a beggar, be sure they can at least buy lunch with that money. It doesn't work to just give them the extra change in your pocket. It won't provide them with a meal. You might just make them angry. When you give money to a beggar, you should smile at him or her and wish them a great day. Be sure to ask your higher self how you can best help. Sometimes you meet people you don't want to mess with, but when it feels right, you're going to want to give them the gift of kindness, along with the money, and back that up by saying, "Have a great day," while attaching the emotions of joy and love. You'll experience something really unusual, something you've never felt before. You'll immediately feel a lift of energy toward the sky, and that lift will take part of you with it. It also generates the effect of bringing you more money to be able to give again, and it's easy to practice. Once you feel the lifting energy, you know you're working with your emotions correctly. In all my travels, I'll sometimes find myself confronted with a large population of street beggars. When this happens, I'll choose a beggar with my intuition. Again, we'll delve deeper into understanding your intuition later on in this handbook. Using my intuition, I'll know who is ready to receive the money. When you give like this, you act as the extended hand of God. This person asked for help from their higher self, and you were there to deliver. It's the best feeling in the world. I also use my intuition to ask how much I should give. When you learn to hear those answers, you'll really start to feel like divine consciousness, like an integral part of the universe. And that's just the beginning. Being a grateful, conscious observer. When I see someone else doing a good deed for a stranger or helping someone less fortunate, I also make a point of sending up gratitude for their actions. I ask my higher self to send feelings of gratitude to their higher self. I've made this a habit and find the discovery of those moments, the ones where I can bear witness to the moving hand of God, very emotional. The great energy field that's generated by a simple act of kindness is so moving, it brings tears to my eyes.